All right, we're going live. Don't touch me. Disgusting. All right. Okay, so today we're going to be starting a series where we're going to give you a complete guide to Nightgame, to meeting women in bars, nightclubs, any venues like that, which I know a lot of guys who are new to game who say they just want to do day game, like downtown or something. And look, there's nothing wrong with day game. Can you get results from day game? Absolutely. You can get great results from day game. But when you're new to the whole pickup thing, what's better?
Nightgame by far.
And why would you say that is?
You can build a social circle, way more approaches in a short period of time. Also, too, if you're somebody who's a virgin who has a lot of sexual experience, sex is easier to get in a night game situation by far. I suppose at night you have to go through way more barriers of entry. It's harder to get sex through day game. It's not in a girl's reality. She's not in that fucking loose.
It's also not in your reality too. I think a big part of it is for a guy, it feels really weird to like go from a day approach to taking that girl home.
Absolutely.
And from night, it's known that happens all the time, and tons of girls go out to clubs to get laid. Right? There was a girl I pulled not that long ago. She wasn't wearing panties, so she was, she was prepared.
Well, she wasn't wearing panties. Are you talking about the one that we were just talking about?
No,
or a different girl. Last one?
It was like a week and a half ago.
Not the one that you fucked on your couch, right?
No.
Okay.
Not that ever happened because my brother might watch this.
No.
Yeah.
Your brother watches your shit? No, my family.
He might. My mom watches my videos.
Oh,
so that's
hi.
Great. Yeah.
Hi, Miss Hayden.
Graham, actually. But all right. So we got a little off track there somehow. All right. So there are girls who actually, when a girl wants to get laid, they go to clubs, right? Because they know they're going to get approached multiple times over the night. They know they're going to meet guys. That's where people go to socialize. So it's the most, it's like the standard environment for that. Plus, there's just far more volume, right? There's going to be hundreds of girls in a good club. There's hundreds of girls you can approach. And so you can do, if you go hard, you can do 30, 40, 50 approaches even potentially. And you're bound to have some that like you. Whereas if you're walking around a mall, you might see 5 girls that you would want to approach. And then if you're new to it and you hesitate on the first one, you have to wait 10 minutes for the next one. That can be kind of brutal.
Also, the quality of the women are not nearly as attractive. Girls and guys, to be fair, the guys that go to clubs, usually the top like 1% of guys. The girls that go to the clubs are fucking usually way more attractive than the girls you're just going to see out and about in the day. Unless you go to like fucking like Whole Foods or something like that, where rich girls go. Girls a lot of money.
And then there's only going to be a few, right?
And then exactly.
And then beyond that, there's makeup, and like girls are at their most attractive in the club, right? So there's no such thing as a 10. There's a 6 with really good makeup. That's you can quote me on that. Look at celebrities. Look at even like Amaranth without makeup. She's like a 6. So women look at their best, and there's the most opportunities. So with that said, we're going to break this up to different sections, starting with the mindset that you need to have for night game, then going to how to open, then going how to hook, and so on and so forth, giving you a complete structured guide to how to have success with night game, because there's a lack of that. There's a lot of like theory and fluff and stuff that you don't really need to have success, but you need to have an actual game plan for every time you go out. What do I do? How do I move things forward when I meet a girl? How do I make sure the overall night is a success?
Yeah.
And that all starts with your mindset. So do you have any things you want to say about the mindset you should have going into meeting girls at night?
So oftentimes whenever guys go out, they focus on the wrong thing. So they one thing that they'll do is they'll think about way too many fucking things at the same time instead of just relaxing, maybe focusing on one thing at a time. They'll focus on a dozen different things. So I call this a frat boy scientist dichotomy. So it's when you go out, you want to be a frat boy. When you go home, you can think about the 100 different things. But when you go out, you focus on 1 or 2 things. But relaxation is the key to getting in state, to getting a good headspace to talk to girls. Not fucking stressing about these hundreds of things that you should be working on. You need like fucking narrow your fucking like scope. Focus on 1 or 2 things, and then focus on relaxing and having a fuck ton of fun with your friends. Act like a frat boy.
Yeah, well, guys also, they're thinking the only goal I have is to get laid. And if I get laid, I have success. And they're putting the metric for success to something that they've never even approached a girl, perhaps. Like they're thinking, I'm going to go all the way from 1 to 10. And if that's your metric for success, everything you do is going to feel like a failure. Everything you do feels like, pointless, another rejection. That was a failure. That was a failure. And then you're going to beat yourself up, and then you're going to hate the whole experience, and then you're going to give up.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen, right? So instead, your metric for success at first is, honestly, literally just the fact that you're able to go out. Like that you went out instead of
Yeah.
staying inside playing League of Legends or jacking off or whatever, right? The fact that you went out, that's already a win, right? You need to give yourself some props, give yourself some credit, because when it comes to game, I think one of the biggest reasons people fail to get results long term is that they don't get enough initial little wins where they feel like it was worth it.
Yeah.
Right. They beat themselves up. They feel frustrated. They have this metric for success, which is getting laid. And even if they do get laid, I'll hear it like on a boot camp. I'm sure you've heard this. Like he gets laid for the first time. The girl's hot. And he's like, well, she made it really easy. I didn't even need much game. I didn't even need much game. So that doesn't count in my, I approached her, sure. And like I did this and this and what you said, but
You didn't fuck it up.
but it was easy. She didn't make it difficult. She didn't give me objections. So it doesn't count. Right. That kind of thing will happen.
Well, it's like allowing yourself the little wins. Like when you do have that. I've had that happen so often. There was this guy who was a virgin who had never even made out with a girl. And then he makes out with this dime piece hot girl outside of a club during the day. Literally he's walking her to her room. He stops it. He could have fucked her, but he didn't. And then he goes around and goes, oh shit, it was just like fell in my lap. I'm like, but before this boot camp, on day one, he made out with the girl. I was like, yes, but that was easy.
Have you done that before? No.
I've never done it before though. And he goes, no. And then I'm like, dude, that's a
shut the fuck up.
Shut up. That's a win. You won. You're winning. Like that's something you've never done before. You made out with a hot girl too. That was the only bad review I think I've ever had on a boot camp. Actually,
that's funny that's the guy.
That's the only guy. Well, it's because I didn't fuck this guy's wife. That's the reason he came me, because I had this guy's wife who's all super into me, and I go home with him. He's like, I knew he had bad game. That was his excuse for why he had to give me a bad review.
Because okay, that's interesting.
It's great. It's great.
So that makes me think there's something called the winner effect, which is when you feel like you're having successes, when you feel like you're winning, quote unquote, and whatever that could mean anything. But when you feel like you're winning, then you get more momentum to have more wins in the future. Your dopamine increases, your serotonin increases, your testosterone even increases. They've done studies where they found, for example, when pro or professional tennis, I think it was professionals, maybe it was college, whatever. When tennis players, when they win a match, they did a before and after test of their neurochemicals, and they found that like I was saying, their dopamine, testosterone, serotonin, all the things associated with like positive emotions, all the things associated with confidence, taking risks, they increased, and when they lost, they decreased.
Well, there's something that it's called like almost there's there's a term for it. Chronic fatigue is caused by stress and anxiety. And it's like a lot of guys get addicted to this negative emotion, and they almost like they come up with the rationalizations for why they'd be anxious and sad and depressed all the time. But
that's what happens when they go out too, right? They think, oh, well, that girl rejected me because I wasn't tall enough. They have no idea. You could be, but it could be a million other reasons. They have no idea, and they automatically assume it's because I'm not tall enough. I was not tall enough, and then there's stress, fatigue, etc.
All right, Jordan Peterson, the lobsters.
Jordan Peterson, lobsters, yes.
When a lobster has a lot of serotonin, they get a lot bigger, but when one has like no serotonin in the system, they get really small. They get so smaller, which serotonin.
And they're more likely to lose fights or win fights, right?
They're going to back down a lot easier. And it's like girls also sense when you have a lot of serotonin in your system. It's like when you're really happy, that's when you're going to be the most attractive to women, when you're in a good headspace.
You can see it on their face.
Their emotions make you attractive.
Their eyes, the look in their eyes, the body language, it all comes unconsciously. It changes based on whether you think you're winning or losing. So the mindset you need to have is that everything you do is winning. Every action you take is winning. The fact that you went out to the bar is winning. The fact that you walked around and smiled and made eye contact with the girl, that's a fucking win. And what I'll do is like, as a girl walks by, I'm like, even let's say she looks at me for a second and then looks away, she wanted me.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, she wanted me. She thought I was attracted. She thought I was out of her league. Things like that. I delusional positive things. Or even if I approach and the girl rejects me, I'm like, she was intimidated. Yeah. She was intimidated by how attractive I am. Or, she's a lesbian. She couldn't keep up. That's going to get canceled. But you get the idea. The idea is I'm reframing delusionally everything that's positive, but it starts as delusion and then it becomes real. Eventually it becomes real, because as I have these delusional thoughts, I'm more likely to approach the next girl. I'm more likely to be more bold, hold stronger eye contact. I'm going to have more fun. I'm going to smile, etc. And my energy is going to get more confident. And then the delusion turns into reality, because then what happens is a girl actually gives me a good response, right? I actually make out with a girl or get a number or whatever. And then that turns into an upward spiral. But what most guys do is create a downward spiral. when it comes to the night game. Everything that happens is a failure. Oh, that girl's who's laughing. They think she was laughing at me. That girl, her boyfriend's going to beat me up if I talk to her. That girl, oh, well, she gave me her number, but it was probably a pity number. It's probably even fake. They think all these negative thoughts. And if you do that, you're going to end up at the end of the night thinking, I failed again and again. I got rejected again and again, and everything is a failure. So being delusional about every little win being, and even if it's just saying hi to a girl, even if it's just making eye contact for a second, just giving yourself positive momentum by reinterpreting everything that happens as positive. Because truth is, we're all delusional. We have no idea what that girl was thinking when she rejected you. Do you? You have no way to know.
Wait. The one person that's actually in the chat is Brad Smith. I love that.
I've never seen him in a pickup live stream chat in my life.
What's up, Brad? How's it going?
He's never on them. That's a new one.
That's hilarious. What's up, Brad? How's it going, Brad?
So I guess I do need glasses because I can read
but
that.
yeah, no, but it's your emotions affect also social intelligence, social awareness, intelligence, your ability to speak and move and like think and be empathetic, and also your ability to be happy and upbeat affects how attractive a girl finds you. Like if I'm depressed or sad, oh my God, it's so hard to pick up girls. But if I'm in a happy headspace and relaxed and I'm present, ooh, I fucking kill it. I kill it.
The truth is, people are not going to believe that. Right? A lot of people
I'm
who
handsome.
haven't experienced
For those of
that.
you who don't believe it, it's actually that I'm
they're not
handsome.
going to believe it because they're going to say, well, I've never experienced that. But that's because you've never been in a good state talking to girls, probably more than a few seconds.
Actually, it's funny you bring that up. I just had a client today for the first time I've ever experienced
state.
And he was talking to me. He's like, is this what you mean by state? I'm like, that's exactly it. He's like, dude, I had nothing holding me back. Today was the first day he's ever experienced state. And it was like, he was so happy about it too. He's like, dude, I didn't have anything that held me back. Every girl liked me a lot. Is that what he meant? I'm like, yeah, that was exactly it. I'm like, now what we're going to do is we're going to sit down with the field report. We're going to see if we can recreate this situation. What was it that caused you to be like this? He's like, well, I approached 10 girls and I never approached that many in a day. Like, cool. All right, let's double down on that. Let's make that the thing. Okay, look, like the more approaches you get in, now we know that that's going to get you in state. So now like we get more approaches in, what's going to happen? I get in state. Cool. Let's double down on that. Let's find some more like key factors that get you there.
Yeah. And most guys, they've never gotten in state because they've never done more than 2 or 3 approaches in a night. And there's a switch that goes off in your brain. If you talk to a ton of girls, the first time you talk to 10, 20, whatever girls, a switch goes off in your brain where you're like, oh, you know what? Rejection wasn't that bad. It's not a big deal.
Brad's over here like fucking like 10 hot girls. We didn't pull that much, but thanks for like the up.
Yeah,
it's like 14 dates, 10 hot girls. We didn't pull that
Appreciate
much, but I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm not gonna say 10 hot girls, but it was pretty good.
So, okay. So many guys who are watching this have never been in state. And the next thing with mindset is, all right, at first, don't even focus on just getting laid, just getting results, things like that. Why don't you focus on, I'm going to talk to everyone, socialize until I have a night where I'm genuinely in an amazing mood. Not just about getting results, not just about getting, taking something from the girls, but we got to block the fucking comments. All right.
No, that's good. I love those comments.
So you got to get to the point where you are able to actually have a good night where you got into state. So have a night where you talk to 20, 30 girls. I don't care if you don't get a single number. I don't care if you don't get any results. But once you're able to actually get into state, once you're able to actually have fun approaching women, talking to girls, which means you're approaching them to offer value. You're going to make their night better. You're expressing your personality. You're just having a good time. When you're able to do that, then everything else will fall into place. And a lot of guys who are watching this have literally never gotten into a positive mood while out approaching women. They've never had fun doing it. And that's why they think it doesn't work, because they've never made girls feel like, oh, this guy's offering value. This guy's going to make my night better when I interact with him. And they've never been in state, if you will. And once you get there, then everything else will be easy.
Well, I was actually going to say a really good title for a video might be like the 5 ways that you can get into state. I just want to put that out there. The five ways that any man can get into state. So like put out like, because you and me both get into state differently.
Yeah.
Like you get into state by fucking being, to be fair, an absolute like just asshole.
Yes.
Being cringy as fuck, and that gets you in state. Me, I'm like, I'm the cool guy.
Well, only if it makes someone else I know uncomfortable. Not for the girls. That's just to fuck with, say, you. If I'm winging with you, I just do that just for your sake.
So much
if you weren't there, I wouldn't do anything like cringy. It's just because I know you can't handle it. But so in terms of mindset, the second thing is focus on actually having a good night out before you worry about like tangible. If you have never had fun going out, get to the point where you've had a good night out. Go out every weekend until you've actually had fun. Talk to every girl. We have another video where we talk about how to get in state. I'll link that below. But once you've got that down and you're able to actually have fun going out, then everything else will start working. Then leading will start working. Then going for the number will start working. Then pulling will start working. A lot of the reason we got a positive comment.
Jerome's starting shit over here. Jerome, shut up.
All right, I have to get close to Brad, who has better game. Okay.
Brad, don't fuck this up.
But anyway, so that's the second thing you have to pay attention to. Is there anything else in terms of the mindset?
Well, I mean, mindset's so fucking huge in this. To be fair, the key to getting in state is relaxation. If you can't get relaxed in a club and you can't you can't be at ease in your own skin, you're not going to ever be in state. You're never going to be in a place. If you're always anxious or trying too hard, it's going to be tough for you to get in the headspace to actually be attractive to women, to be fair. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. That was very politically correct, Brad. Thank you.
Said him in this way. And
basically said that we're both good game.
No, not
see,
true. This guy sucks.
That's a politically correct answer, Brad. Good job, Brad.
No, this guy actually sucks. Okay, so the next thing that we should talk about is, all right, this sounds like a minor topic, but it makes a huge difference, is finding the right venue, right, for Nightgame, finding the best venues. Because I remember I started in Tucson. That's where I was born and raised. I was about to do the Will Smith rap from Prince of Bel-Air.
He said you have a style of game like Todd V.
I love hearing that I'm like Todd V. Yes, that makes me so happy. I love that.
He hates that so much.
Just like Todd V. Love it. All right. So we're never going to finish this video.
All right, no, keep going. I'm sorry, man. Keep going.
You need to have bad eyesight like me because I can't see them. So then I don't have to engage with them.
All right.
Okay. So in terms of finding the best venues, I remember when I was in Tucson, the first year I went to this place called Fourth Avenue, which had a ton of small, it adds a little earthquake effect, right? It makes it more engaging. So
like a Hitler.
I'm part German, so I'm not going to do that one. Okay. So in terms of the venue, I used to go to these small shitty bars, Fourth Avenue, and I thought that's all there was for a year. And then I actually pulled a hot girl who took me to a better bar that was downtown, and all of a sudden there's 5 times as many opportunities. So the venue does matter a lot. What are your recommendations for finding the best venues in whatever city you're in?
So my style of game has been merged with a bunch of different styles. Like I'm not one of those guys who's like, social circle game doesn't exist, cold approach game doesn't exist. Because people get in their own fucking ego about that shit. Obviously, like social circle was something that I took a long time to get into, which you and me both have been working on for a long time. We just recently, over the past like 6 months to a year, started actually taking it more seriously.
Sure.
I would say. And we started surrounding ourselves with some bad motherfuckers, some cool girls, some cool guys, dope. But if you're going to a club, you want to go to the spot where the hottest girls are. Because the idea is that you're not just going out there to the game for one night and just burn the place to the ground. You're going there also to build a social circle. You're going there, like, if a girl goes there consistently, you make friends with her. Cool. Now you have like a dope, hot girl that goes there consistently who you're friends with, you can have pre-selection with, who is also like, who's going to help you get laid. Like the fucking her versus like you actually just becoming friends with a hot girl sometimes can pay in dividends. And so what you want to do is you want to go to a place with a lot of hot girls. You want to go somewhere where with the anticipation of you not fucking all of them, with you also making friends with all of them, also guys who are connected. Basically, you want to go to the top of the top clubs, start going there consistently every week. And a lot of people, there's this book called The Like Switch, where it talks about the more that people see you face to face, the more likely they are to make friends with you.
So it's called propinquity. I think that's the word. Yeah, propinquity.
Propinquity is the word. So propinquity. So like if they see you more often, they're more likely to be friends with you. So they see you there every week, in and out. Go to the same fucking clubs. Don't be a fucking dumbass. Go to some bum ass club with like some average girls.
Imagine if we went to only Fremont every week.
Ew. Then I'd run in my fucking.
Because if you compare the average hotness of the girls on Fremont compared to the ones on the Strip or like that country bar, it's night and day, right? It's not even close. So really, I mean, the main advice, all right, there's a few things you want to look for in terms of the best venues. One is actually volume and ratio. Right. So if it's a tiny venue and there's no other venues nearby, you're not going to be able to get, especially when you're new, if there's like 50 people in there, that's shit. Right. You want somewhere that has a lot of people because it also makes you feel more anonymous. which it makes it less intimidating. If there's 500 people in the venue versus 50, it feels like less of a big deal if you get rejected.
Yeah.
And that helps when you're new. Having the most volume possible, and ideally having a ratio where it isn't like 90% guys. And sometimes that means paying a cover, like $20, $30 in most cities. Is that really a big deal? I would pay the cover if it's like $20 for a really good club, as opposed to going to a free club where it's 95% dudes, right? We're going to pay to go to the club tonight. That's going to have a better ratio than that. Well, okay, whatever. The point is, because I don't have a local ID, that's not the point. I'll pay to go to the club that has a really good ratio on Saturday, as opposed to going to the one that's free and it's 90% guys a lot of the time. I think that's worth it. But also, you want to find obviously the place with the hottest girls, but also a place that is loungy. So if there's a place where there's people just standing around, kind of talking to each other, as opposed to everyone's at tables, that's way better. If everyone's at tables and it's super loud, that's going to make it more difficult. So if you can find a place that's loungy, where there's people just standing around and you can talk to people, and it's not overwhelmingly loud, that will be better. But the number one important thing, volume and ratio, right? If you can find a place with good volume and good ratio in terms of men and women, that's the best venue. And it might take effort to find those venues, but put in that effort, right? Try different venues for the different weeks in your city. I can't go on a list of every city what the best venues are, obviously, but do some, because you might be going to a shitty club. I remember I did a boot camp in Atlanta, and they took me to this club that was trash. It was 90% guys, 200 people. It was sketchy as hell. And I was like, well, I guess Atlanta's not good for game, because this is like, they were like, this is the best venue.
Yeah, Atlanta's got awful though. Atlanta has a bad.
No, but okay. But then I went to this other club called Havana.
I've heard of
and
it.
It was amazing. It had a capacity of like 3,000. It had 3 DJ rooms. The girls were really hot there. We pulled twice.
There's a place in New York like that too, actually.
Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's like a chain. But anyway, you have to put in the work, because if you're going to the wrong venues, you might think that the only thing holding you back is like, oh, it's hard in my city, or game doesn't work. But if you find the right venue, you'll find far more opportunities. So it is worth putting. It's not the most exciting thing to talk about, but it makes such a big difference to make sure you're going to the right venues.
So me and Avery run Vegas. We have like a lot of guys.
We run this city.
Well, we do.
It's what Conor McGregor says. It's like New Ireland, but I don't. We're like, we can't say New Germany, because that one's
Oh no, bad.
Cancel.
Bad. Oh, it's your channel anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be posting that to CNN.
Get him, not me. No, I had nothing to do with this guy.
Right.
I had nothing to do with this pale white man.
Right.
Yeah. So anyways.
One guy's having fun in the comment, just comment after comment.
Yeah. Probably talking about how gorgeous I am and how ugly you are.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad I can't.
I understand why Denton gets laid so much. It makes sense.
I mean,
so charismatic.
Check my notes really quick, because there might have been.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how long you want to go with this video? And then like, when do you want me to
like 3 hours? 3 hours? Okay. So last thing in terms of before you go to the club is finding wings. So do you have any recommendations for people to find wings? Because
well, most pickup guys are fucking weird. Here's the problem. So it's really hard to get good at game. And to be fair, anybody that usually gets into game is either there's one of two scenarios. Either one, they already were a killer in a different industry, which we both have had famous and like fucking rich guys come to us, but they're
big deal.
So I had a couple guys hit me up today that were famous, and like then there's also the guys who are the ones that are like just desperate, which is the majority. They're just because doing pickup is quote unquote weird because society doesn't deem it right, because learning how to be better with women is nothing that any guy ever wants to do. You got to improve with women. Oh my God, what a creepy, what a weirdo. Oh, what a weirdo.
Creepy. So now we have an incel epidemic. So thanks for spreading that.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have all these guys, school shooter motherfuckers who don't know they can improve with women. And then not knowing that they had it out all along. And instead, they decided to start shooting up schools. So thank you guys for appropriating that.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah, great job. You guys are doing great. Awesome. But yeah, so getting good at game isn't fucking easy. It wasn't ever meant to be easy. It's a competitive space. Money, status, and women are the two most competitive spaces for men. And if you want to get into this shit, you want to play the game, you got to play the game. It's not, most guys even like are learning pickup, suck at this shit. So when it comes down to you finding wings that are fucking dope and cool, half of our friends that are fucking dope, bad motherfuckers have never even heard a game. Ray, for example, Ray's a mean motherfucker when it comes to women.
Yeah.
He knows about game, but if you ask him like what kind of advice he has, he'll be like, bro.
But he probably only knows about it because you told him about it.
Probably no, but you knew me through Brian Black.
Okay.
Originally.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
So
there's one of my best wings.
you just
Better
want to
than
look for
you.
cool guys.
One of my best wings is a guy who literally I was outside a club and he approached me and was like, "Hey, want to talk to girls?" Right? He came up to me. He sensed that I don't know, like he just had a sixth sense that
He's like,
I would be someone good to
I
approach
feel that you are good with girls.
He didn't know about my YouTube channel. He didn't know. He just came up to me. He's like, "Want to talk to girls?" And I said, "Why not?" And now we've pulled together multiple times, and that is something to keep in mind. You go to a club, you go to a bar, just pay attention. Just pay attention. If there's guys that look like they're having fun and they're talking to girls, meet them, introduce yourself to them, and go like say, "Hey, that girl, let's go talk to her." And if she's like, "I don't know," you approach her and her group and then bring the girls back to them. And guess what? If they have any game whatsoever, they're going to fucking love you because you're bringing girls to them. You're making their life easier. And if they're cool, all of a sudden you have a new wing. So that's like the best wings you're going to meet, in my experience, are often just people you meet at the bar and the club, just through socializing, right? Just pay attention. There's always guys who are there to talk to girls. There's always guys who are there for that reason. Now, you can also join online groups. There's going to be some weirdos you're going to meet on there. There's going to be some, it's not 100% success rate in terms of the quality, but it can still help. There's something called gameglobal.net/groups. They have groups for every city. And although, I've met people, I'm like, that was a mistake. I've also met
Game Global like itself. So Game Global is like this group of pickup guys who are trying to be pickup guys, but they suck at game. However, what they did do really
the
well,
moderators, sure.
Though the moderators and the YouTubers, they're not. I mean,
they
seem like sweethearts, but they're not good with girls. It's not their shtick. Their shtick is like creating like this system of like finding pickup guys in your area.
Yeah, they've done that. The point is they have every city has a group with enough members that if you put in some effort, you'll be able to find wings. And having wings, look, is it necessary? No. You can totally have success without wings, but does it make it easier? Yes, it definitely makes it easier. Having camaraderie, having someone else to push you, having friendly competition, shoving it in your friend's face that you pulled more girls in the previous week. That's all great, right? It's good to have that. And to have someone like when I don't want to go out, and then he's like, "Oh, you're not going to go out, bitch? All right, then I'll pull a girl and send you a picture of your failure." So it's good to have that. It'll give you more leverage. It'll give you more accountability. So if you can't find wings, do not use that as a motherfucking excuse. That's lame. But finding wings is definitely something worthwhile, and it will help. And those are the best two ways to do it. Join those online groups, or just when you go out, pay attention and introduce yourself to other guys who are out talking to girls.
Mm-hmm. Actually, there's a really good question over here that Jerome. Yeah, Jerome's asking this. Do you guys still get one-itis / develop feelings? Avery doesn't. You don't. You don't get one-itis.
Not in a long time.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I won't.
I think that one-itis comes from almost like your biology, like sensing there being like a distance. So your biology almost feels like you're low status. This weekend, actually, I was hugging my pillow because I was sick. And so I was like this. I'm like, why am I not hugging a girlfriend? Then I'm like, wait. I'm in a low headspace because right now I'm sick. So I'm feeling like so my status dropped. So now my brain is like in one-itis mode. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm in one-itis mode. Fuck it. Cool. Never mind. Then Monday I was a gangster again.
Yeah, I think one-itis, it's not necessarily that you are low status, but
your
that
brain
the girl
perceives it.
That there's a girl who's higher status than you, right? So the lower your perceived status, the more girls you can get one-itis for. And the higher your perceived status, the less girls you would get one-itis for. So when your status, when you believe I'm a 10 out of 10, that's when you would never experience one-itis. When you feel like I can get anyone. And I don't know, look, me, if I could get an A-list celebrity, I'm sure I would get one-itis for that, right? There's probably always going to be a girl you can have one-itis to an extent, but the more you've gone through it, you also learn from it, right? The more you've had one-itis and you realize, oh, I got needy, that didn't help. That I did this, and this, that didn't help. You can still have your butterflies in your stomach and feel really excited about a girl and not act like a fucking loser. Yeah. So I think one-itis to an extent is healthy. A girl should make you a little bit nervous because that means you really like her, right? A girl should have an emotional impact on you. That's okay, but it's when you feel the need to start acting differently and you get needy and you start sending 5 texts in a row. When you do all those kinds of things, that's when it's fucked. But a little bit of having like feelings for a girl, I think that's healthy and normal.
Well, I think, all right, so girls always want a guy that's out of their league. And so I actually, to be fair, I don't even believe in like even necessarily giving girls compliments anymore. Like there's nothing in me that like, so every time, if I ever date like a dime or a hot girl, you've heard me do this before. I'll start immediately dissing on her in some way. Like, cause in my head, I'm like I'll tell myself like, oh no, she's dumb. She's this or she's that. And I want to say it to the girl, but what I'm doing is I'm telling my subconscious, like she's not all that. And then it keeps me at a distance so that I'm still high value towards her in my head. Because the second that you tell yourself, hey, this girl's special, second that girl's not going to want to talk to you anymore. The second you say a girl's special, all of a sudden now she's not into you, which you don't have as much of an issue as I do, I don't think. I have more the issue with this because I'm more of a, like, I'm a hardcore empath. I'm more of a codependent than you are. You're more like, you push in the opposite direction. You're more like easy to like, you're more disattached easier than I do.
Well, I've seen too many people get attached to a girl and how it always ends badly. Yeah. So I just think I've seen that, and I've seen it happen to even people like family members, right? Like people like parents and shit, where they were with someone who it turned out it was fucked over years of that kind of manipulation of one person being too attached. So I've just seen when you get too attached, how horribly that always ends. And so it doesn't mean I'm immune to it, but it's hard for me to get attached because I know where that road lies or where that road ends.
For me, if I'm ever dating a 10, I never will tell myself she's a 10. I'll lie to myself so I can continue dating her. Because the second girl thinks that she's out of my league, she'll no longer find me
attractive. But I wouldn't even believe any girl's a 10, pretty much. Like,
you never do.
She could physically be really, really hot. But even if that's the case, does she have all the best personality traits possible?
What do we say about our friends?
No way.
Like, what do we say about our friends Dior model? Like, we both have talked, like, we still don't even believe, like, she's the 10. So one of our friends dating, like, this Dior model, and neither of us are like...
I don't think most fashion, like, they're almost never 10s.
See this?
Like, old Victoria's Secret models were back in, like, the 90s, sure. But most fashion models are... No, they're like 8s.
What else do you want to go over with this?
Being honest.
What else? What are your other points?
All right. Well, that was all the points for the mindset. So we finished that.
All right. What do you want?
That's part 1 of like 8.
All right. Well, here.
We can start doing your video.
All right.
That's going to be like 12 parts. I got to use the restroom. That'll be time for you to set up the camera, and you can
it's already set up.
Talk to people as they...
I'll answer some questions. Here, I'm going to record myself.
The hottest girls always reject me.
It's because you don't believe you're of their value. Well, I'll tell them that in a second. Here, give me 1 second, bro.
Let's see, got a really dumb comment here.
What?
It's not an uncommon thing.
Well, it's you. Well, here, I'll tell the guy in a second. I'll help out that. That's a common question. That's something I used to have. Is like when girls are too hot, where I blow like fucking up because I gave them the like look. Here, I'll jump out. I'll help out this. So, all right. So you get blown out with like 10s a lot, is what you're saying? All right, you're viewing the 10s as 10s. That's where you're fucking up, man. So you think they're this like high quality individual? Avery, ask. You fucker. Yeah. So you're viewing the 10. So we approach everybody. I approach guys, girls, couples, groups. I approach everybody. Like when I say approach all, I mean approach all. When I go to a club, I'm not standing in like the corner, like waiting for some girl to walk by. I'm talking to everybody. There's people all around me. I'm talking to everybody. Last night, I did the 5-second game, which is where one of my friends follows me around, and if I don't approach somebody in 5 seconds, it could be guy, girl, anybody. I get lit, like they slug me in the arm. They give me a dead arm, and yeah, you need to like if you're giving a girl this like this in your head, you need like even if she is a 10. She's not a 10 in your head. You need to like tell yourself she's not that fucking hot. Tell yourself that she's like not that attractive, even if it's a self lie. What this will do is it will like, all right, this is kind of funny. If you want a harem, you have to not treat the harem that big as a deal as in your head. Like to you, a harem is not that big a deal. It's like, it's whatever. It's like, just, fuck. I don't care if I have a harem or not. Like, that's the way that you fucking start dating these girls. That's the way, like, you don't, like, what's funny is the second you start dating a 10, you don't look at her like she's a 10. You don't even think she's a 10. Am I right in this?
She actually will stop being a 10 after you've slept with her enough times.
When you date a 10, she stops being a 10.
I feel like every girl goes to like an 8.
Yeah. Like, every girl drops to an 8 when all your 10s drop to an 8.
Now every other hot girl's hotter.
Like, so our friend has a Dior model, and you mean both are like, she's average. But she's a Dior model.
Average. I wouldn't say average. I wouldn't be that.
She's hot, but she's like, but what we're doing is in her head is like we drop person in her head. Like, dude, I was thinking that.
Probably gonna watch this, and now you're gonna have a conversation.
Steven doesn't care. Steven doesn't care. Steven's like, yeah, but like this how we are. Steven's the same way, right? All right, so like when you date a 10, like it's funny. No guy's ever dated a 10 said his girlfriend was a 10. He thinks that she's like an 8 at best. Like every guy's ever dated a 10 thinks she's an 8. And like, it's like the second you think that your girl's a 10, is
Well,
when
because all the arguing and the bickering and the,
Yeah.
her nagging, like every time a girl nags, she loses like 0.1, you
Yeah.
know, until she becomes a 2, and then you're like, I need to get out of this.
Yeah.
That's basically how it usually
Yeah, no
ends up
guy,
going.
no guy has ever quote unquote dated a 10. You know, because like every time they date a 10, there's a girl that's hotter out there he really wants, or like a situation he wants better, or she nags or does this or blah blah blah.
The thing with getting hotter girls is it has meaning to you, right? You have this feeling. I remember distinctly. I thought that when I pulled a 10, my life would be solved. I would be happy. My problems would go away. I would have made it. I had that feeling. And
You
then
never dated 10.
and then when I did pull a 10, after that, for 2 weeks, I did feel pretty fucking good. There was about 2 weeks where I'm like, it's like if I bought a Lamborghini, I would feel really good for a couple weeks, right? But then it went back to normal. Then it really didn't make any difference. And now, after that, getting a 10 was way less exciting. It was way less a big deal. So the thing is, it's a big deal in your mind. And that's why when you approach the hotter girls, you have more trouble. That's why it's more difficult, because it is this big deal in your mind that's, oh my God, if I pull this girl, it's going to mean everything. It's like slaying the dragon in the cave, right? So the more you approach 8s, 9s, and 10s, the more you start asking for their number. It's going to be awkward at first, but the more you do it, the less of a big deal it'll be. So really the only way out of this is through it. Yeah. The only way out of this is to approach a ton of girls that you consider to be 8s, 9s, and 10s. Start asking them out no matter how awkward it feels. Start asking them out even if you're super nervous. Your notes?
We put it underneath here to prop up the thing.
It propped it up perfectly, though. God damn it.
God damn it. It's right. It's because you put it underneath the one thing that I fucking need so we can go over our notes. Ah, God damn it. Okay, here. Let's do this then. Here, let me give him a second. There we go. That worked.
Surprisingly well. Okay.
That actually was perfect.
Convenient.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to go through now.
Hey, what's up, Ray?
Oh, Ray. What's up, bro? How's it going, man? You guys want to know a gangster? Ray Bane's a fucking gangster. He's one of our wings.
He also has a YouTube.
His YouTube channel, like, check it out. Ray Bane, fucking fire. If you guys want to learn game. Okay, so here's the points we're going through. So, okay. So now we're going to address the camera above you guys because we're going to do my video now. So,
so now it's actually going to be good.
Yeah, so now you guys are now secondary characters in our fucking game. Yeah. At the top. No, you just look tall.
Just because I'm so much taller than you. Yeah.
You look tall and handsome. So we're going to shoot a video over here, but we're still going to be answering guys' questions too.
As long as they're not retarded.
As long as they're not dumb. Okay.
I'm going to go with retarded.
Who's the offensive one here?
You're allowed to say that on YouTube. So
yeah,
it's not banned yet.
Oh, yeah?
Probably will be soon.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah. All right. To be fair, yeah, we have some competitors who are saying way worse shit. All right. So anyways, okay. So these are the 12. All right. These are 12 habits that any man that wants to improve women should adopt. All right. So the first one is practicing good hygiene / fashion, working on yourself. Make sure you take showers, make sure you smell good. Like how much should I
take a solid shower a week just to make sure that I keep my hygiene on.
Proof that you don't really need to 100% like follow this, but fashion in general, you dress really clean.
I appreciate it. So honestly, in terms of good fashion, like, look, if you have money, just go to like Armani or something. Like, why not? If you have money, go to Armani, Dior, all those kind of places. If you don't have a lot of money, the next tier that's still pretty good would be Armani Exchange. So you can get a good shirt at Armani Exchange for like $75. Yeah. It's a little expensive, but it's a lot nicer than like Target or the lower end kind of stuff. Now, if you want to go one level below that, where it's still really good, and I would recommend everyone go here, Zara. Like Zara is pretty much every hot girl. All right. I remember when I went to Lincoln Road on Miami for a boot camp. Okay. Every time I saw a hot girl, they're either entering or leaving Zara. Like, and so having the male equivalent of the fashion that younger, attractive women find appealing is generally a safe decision. Right. So Zara, they do have some things where it's like netting and it's clearly for gay guys. Don't wear those ones unless you think you can pull it off. But for the most part, Zara has just the fabric's better than most other places. The styles and designs, it's just more fashionable, higher quality, and it's very cheap. So if you want something that's affordable, not very cheap, it's like $50 for a good shirt. But if you want something that's affordable, but still very high quality, Zara is the safest bet. Just buy like 5 shirts from Zara, 5 pairs of pants, and you're pretty much good to go.
Well, you need to be studying fashion constantly and be doing trial and error because you're never going to get it right the first time. I tried so many different fashions. You guys look through my YouTube channel over the course of years. I have 411 videos up right now. Now going to be 412 videos. And throughout these 412 videos, if you look at all my videos, I'm constantly looking different. If you go back like a year or two, I don't look like the way I look right now. I'm trying out new beard styles, fashions. I'm trying out like new skin products. I'm doing tans. I'm adding like contact lenses. I'm wearing my hats differently. I have like different hairstyles. I'm wearing rings, or I'm dying I'm like fucking like painting my nails like a weirdo. I'm doing so much different shit. And you need to be experimenting too. If you guys aren't experimenting with your fashion, what the fuck are you doing? Experiment. Like, I mean, like, dude, like try anything. And it's not just good for like, it's not just good for like the fact of like the girls are gonna see you being different.
Yep.
It's because of the ego you have invested in your looks. It loosens it up and like
it helps you shift your identity. So if you try different looks, I remember I tried when I was like 19, I tried gauges and band shirts and like a more edgy look. And it was uncomfortable for me, but it forced me to get out of my normal identity as being the dork with the regular boy's haircut, you know, like who wear polos. Like it helped me get out of my normal identity, which helps you change your behavior as well. So yes, better fashion is it's certainly gonna help. But I'd say it's almost more important the fact that if you change your style, like throw away your old clothes, get new clothes, get a new hair, go to a expensive barber and get a different haircut, different facial hair, just change everything. It could be earrings, rings, whatever. Just change everything. You're gonna find that it helps you get out of your old identity and break your patterns, which is
absolutely.
really, really valuable.
Yeah, it makes you more flexible. Well, all right.
And there's one more with that, which I'm just gonna recommend because I've gotten like every single night I go out, cologne definitely helps, right?
Yeah.
Having good cologne. Every single night I've gone out, I've tried Dior, I've tried Gucci, all the different higher end brands of cologne. I've bought most of them for no reason, but there's one that actually gets a shit ton of compliments from girls, and they keep saying, "Oh my God, you smell so nice. I love it." I hear this every fucking night. It is Spice Bomb by, I think it's Victor and Rolf is the name. So that particular cologne, if you want a cologne that guaranteed women will find appealing, just get that one.
You should not be spending less than $100 on your cologne. Like cologne is huge. It's like immediately.
I mean, if you're a brokey, Eternity by Calvin Klein's okay, but it would be better to get.
Absolutely, yeah. All right. So next point is good body language. Now, good body language is something that a lot of guys don't think about. They don't even know what good body language is because most guys get most content creators about body language. They say this some dumb shit. They're like rigid body language with your shoulders back, head high, and give people eye contact.
Be alpha.
Be alpha. But it's like good body language is loose body language. It's not this rigid fucking form of body language. This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's like speaking from which I have multiple videos on this. So does Avery. Good body language, speaking from your chest, having loose vocal cords, having a relaxed face, giving eye contact, yes, but not overdoing eye contact because you overdo eye contact. What happens? People get uncomfortable. Even taking away by eye contact, not giving somebody eye contact in general could be good body language because somebody you don't give them that energy. Like her girl's friend starts yapping at you. Fuck that bitch. Don't give her eye contact. She's saying shit you don't care about or ignore her ass. So like good body language isn't like the current mainstream narrative has fucking trash us advice on body language. Both of us have videos on this shit. So if you guys want to check that out, you can check out either of our channels on body language. We have multiple videos on this.
I think one thing that's generally correct. So there's a couple points about that. One thing that people are generally correct about is closed in body language is generally worse. Now, you can even you can be like this, but if you're feeling good, it still won't come across that bad, to be fair. But as a general rule of thumb, more open body language comes across as more high status. So being gesticulating, right? Using your hands. Some guys are too shy to use their hands when they're talking and they're like this and they hold that automatically makes you seem lower status. So being willing to move your hands and just pay attention. Like when you're if you're watching this, just pay attention. Like, what does my body language look right now? Right? Do I have swag or do I seem like I'm trying to hide? Exactly. Am I looking at the ground or am I looking around? Like just do some check-ins, be aware of it. And it's something that is not as complicated as people make it. But the other big part is how would you recommend? So if they need to have more relaxed, open body language, how do they actually change that?
You want to swing the pendulum. So there's different. All right. So usually people have either repressed body language or supplicating body language. Mine is naturally supplicating. I don't know where yours was. You actually naturally, I think, are kind of in the middle with this. for like at least when it comes to facial
Mine was
expressions.
crazy body language naturally, like
Like-
just like I don't know, like just like extreme.
So usually people what they do is they'll supplicate. They'll like try to make themselves meek and mild to make
Yep.
people around them feel more comfortable.
Yep.
Or they're repressed, like almost like an
And
engineer.
that women, it dries women up like Sahara Desert. Gone.
Both do. Well, it's like if you're repressed, it's like my emotions and my emotional well-being doesn't matter, and I'm gonna hide it because people are gonna punish me for my emotions or what I'm feeling. The other side is like I'm supplicating to make myself small so people around me feel comfortable. It's like a codependency. It's like codependent like nature. Yeah, what you want to do is you want to swing the pendulum to either side, whatever it is.
Thumbnail.
Like this. Yeah, thumbnail. Thumbnail.
Got the thumbnail.
Wait. Thumbnail.
Got it. Thumbnail. Body language that attracts women, and that's the video. That's the thumbnail.
All right. Here, let's get to the next point. Being financially responsible.
Really, we're gonna talk about that one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so if you're somebody that is not doing savings, not making money, who lives in their van, something that is really simple, which we'll make this really short. Something that's really simple that'll make your confidence tenfold better is being financially responsible, like actually having savings, making money, running a business, being smart with the shit. It's an easy way to have instantaneous confidence. It's hard to prove to your subconscious mind that you're a confident individual if you're not having money. If I'm broke, my confidence goes through the floor. I'm depressed. I'm sad. It's hard to give a girl eye contact to believe I'm a gangster.
Would pull hot girls out.
I still do, but I mean, like, I still pull girls as a fat fuck. But it's easier to do when I'm like in shape because I believe in myself more.
Yeah, I think. By the way, so with all of these, so if you're having the mindset that like, oh well, that means I need to be rich before I start approaching girls, that is going to shoot you in the foot because that is what you're saying is I don't need core confidence. I need situational confidence. I need confidence based on this, this, and this. All these things are going to help, but they're supplemental. Underneath that, if you have core confidence, you can be a total poor, degenerate, fat motherfucker, and you can still have success.
Yeah, these are just habits. So it's just another habit that will make your game even fucking better. It's proof that you are. Proof is in the pudding, I think is the phrase that people use. You have proof that you are a bad motherfucker. It's hard to believe you're a bad motherfucker if you don't make money and you don't have it. However, you can't also be like us dumb fucks and have no money and still get laid. Because
we make a ton of money. We just spend a ton of money.
Yeah, exactly. We're not great at the savings side, which is actually something that we've been working on a lot lately. We've been working on being more financially responsible, which makes us feel more like gangsters. Now, next part is improv. Improv is something that, as a habit, you guys should adopt. Absolutely. I take on so many different improv exercises. I'll stand in front of the mirror, and I try to imitate guys who are considered attractive to girls. I'll watch the way they drag the vowels. I'll watch the way they look at a person or look at a girl. I'll watch the way that they.
So you watch videos of me? It's a good idea.
So I'll watch the way they're slow and languid, and I study them. Improv is a great way to improve in cold approach situations. You want to be more charismatic than women? Practice improv. Make it a habit to practice improv every day. Whatever it is, I have my own unique strategies and exercises that I do to improve with this.
Now you should say they're in my course.
And they're also in my course.
Which you need to buy. I feel like that's okay. But can you give a couple examples of improv exercises and describe them in like 30 seconds?
These are exercises that I've created, by the way. These are not something that are out there. It's exercises I created to make myself more sexy. One is celebrity mirroring. Celebrity mirroring. So what I do is I watch guys who are considered attractive to girls, not for the fact of being physically attractive, but that are attractive, like charismatically.
By the way, if you want to play a drinking game that'll get you killed, every time he snaps, have a drink. Okay, so acting like say Brad Pitt from Fight Club, or
if you move like him, Brad Pitt.
If you want a good example of body language, by the way, I'd say Brad Pitt when he was younger, Fight Club specifically, and Troy. That's what Troy. Really attractive masculine body language looks like. That's probably the best example I can think of.
Well, the guy that I'm studying right now is Matt Rife. So I watch it. He's a comedian.
Oh, yeah. He's really good too.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've been studying him and I try to move like him. And what's funny is by moving like him, you move into his character. You start moving and speaking like him. It's easier for you to believe you are him. And then like the rest of it comes. The action feeds the ego feeds the action.
It's also good to loosen your sense of identity, to loosen your ego and being stuck. Because what happens is if you're a shy, quiet guy who's like afraid of being bold, if you start adopting something from someone else, it gives you permission to act in a way that goes against your limiting beliefs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're only on 5.
We're not going to get them all done in one. It can be 2 videos.
Okay, all right.
It can be 2 videos. It's fine. Like we can go into some detail. We're not on TikTok.
Well, Well, here, let's move to the next point. Meditation. So a lot of you guys, when you guys go out to a nightclub, you guys are in your fucking head being anxious. The key to getting in state is relaxation. Being relaxed and being present. It's the key to getting in state. If you guys are in a negative headspace, you guys are beating yourself up, you guys are anxious, sad, depressed, being present will push you through that and move you into the emotions and the headspace to be actually a very confident and a very like charismatic individual. Relaxation, it's like beforehand, you're like this, you're an engine without any oil. You have no your gears are grinding and it's hard for you to be like present in a conversation. All of a sudden now you're just being relaxed, you're being free, you're being in the moment. And now easier to get in states, way fucking easier. Our friend Steven, we were talking about, one of the things he taught me is like how much in meditation is such a big factor in being in a game.
Really? Okay.
Oh my God, it's huge. And it is.
I didn't know he talked about that.
Yeah, no, he loves meditation. I asked him about this and I'm like, dude, how do you get in state? He's like, dude, just be present to the moment. It's so much easier.
So yeah, one way, even when you're in a club, you can do an in-club meditation, which basically what it means is there's a few ways to do this, but one way I do it is just going to the dance floor for a few minutes, listening to the music and dancing and just focusing all my attention, not on, oh, where's the hot girls that I should talk to, not worrying about any of that, just paying attention to the music, paying attention to the sensations, because there's plenty in a fucking nightclub, paying attention to everything that's going on and actually getting in touch with those sensations and not thinking about anything else. Now, in terms of meditation, it's a very powerful habit. I'd say it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I've had a year where I did an hour a day every day, and that was like the happiest year of my life. I should probably go back to that. Because literally, if you meditate enough, you can just like walk outside and you hear the birds and you're like you're in a state of total gratitude. You're almost like, I feel emotional. Just literally listening to fucking birds, right? That's what being present can do for you. And it's also very attractive to women. And really quickly, I know you want to rush through, but really quickly.
No. Well, I'm thinking about just cutting it off here.
Yeah, we're two parts. Yeah.
Well, I'll do the second part and I'll just do it on my own when I get back. Sure.
Yeah. But if you want to practice meditation, the best way to start is to actually get some guided meditations, not just do it on your own, because chances are you're not going to figure it out. You're going to get frustrated. So there's two apps I would recommend. One is Headspace and one is Calm. So download those apps.
Calm's a good one.
I think the voice, her voice is pretty hot.
Oh my God,
Calm, yeah. A little bit creepy, but in a hot way. But anyway, download Calm or Headspace and go through their meditations, and it'll help with game, but it'll honestly help with every area of life.
What she said? She's like, notice your forehead and notice, is there any tenseness? Is there any tingling on the skin
that I can help relieve?
And she moves down to like the pelvis. She's like, is there any tenseness?
As my voice strokes up and down. Calm is great. Now we need an affiliate link after that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so is that number 5 or?
Oh, here I'll finish the rest later. It's 11:20 now, so let's do this. I'm gonna cut the camera off here, and I'll create my own like second part. I'll make it all one video. For this, if you guys want to watch the video, the full part of this, you can check my channel at charismaking.com. Charisma King on YouTube channel.
Yeah, charismaking.com.
My fucking God.
Go to his YouTube channel, charismaking.com. See where that leads.
So anyways, I'm going to make a part 2 on the camera. I'll edit up tonight after done gaming, or if we don't pull. If we don't pull.
It's not going to happen.
If we don't pull.
It's going to be tomorrow.
Very. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to turn that off, and do you have any closing statements for your life?
Closing statements. Let's see if there's any comments that I want to respond to. Guys only like him because he's tall and handsome.
That's right.
Well, I've been intentionally gaining weight to combat that. Picking up girls is on. I'm going to try Spice Bomb this weekend. Yeah, let me know. I mean, almost every night girls comment on that cologne. Happy 420. Oh, yeah. It's coming up. 420. In like 40 minutes. Owen said 20 minutes meditation day made him 20 times better. Seems like exaggeration, but it definitely helps. Owen says he is hypnotherapy. Really? Hypnotherapy is great. I actually believe in it. But that's like a whole different topic. All right. So that's the comments. All right. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channels. Mine's aghayden.com. aghayden.com. And subscribe. Make sure to hit us with that subscribe bell. And also we're going to be posting new infield soon. We've got like footage of makeouts, footage of pulls. I've got full sessions that I've been recording. So new infield is finally coming soon. Probably going to get canceled for it in the near future, but you know what? It's worth the risk. So if you want, and if you don't know, infield is hidden camera footage of us actually approaching women. So you know that we're not, two guys that after this are going to go back to
hiding in our basements.
Going back to our mother's basements
girls. Yes, we're so good with girls, but we don't want to go out because.
And then just laughing. They believed it. Because that's most of the YouTube dating coaches.
Oh my
so
God.
if you want someone who actually shows receipts, shows proof that they walk the walk instead of just talking
the
the talk.
guys say receipts too. There's a lot of guys say receipts who are fucking losers.
And they have no receipts.
They have no receipts. Or they fake it. I hate that
True.
shit.
But we are people who actually show as many receipts as we can without, getting banned. So make sure to subscribe to our channels if you want an example of someone that walks the walk and doesn't just say, "Oh, I'm an expert." Why? Because I'm an expert. Really? Okay, Corey Wayne, you're okay. A lot of people are going to get mad at that one. But I have no reason to believe that motherfucker's an expert.
No, people Corey Wayne fan.
Yes, he has like 800,000 subscribers.
Yeah, but none of them are
Or Trip Advice. Let's just name them
hardcore.
all off. Trip Advice. Fucking fraud, no game. Who else?
Corey Wayne's gay, I thought.
I thought he was gay too. If he gave gay advice, maybe he'd be an expert. Now, yeah, he's gonna love that. Who else? Alpha M, teaching men's fashion. There's so many frauds who have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to approaching women, but they give advice because it's a good way to get clicks on YouTube. It's a good topic for their channels.
Yeah.
But they don't have receipts. If they don't have receipts, don't trust him.
Though.
He is, but his cold approach advice is horrible.
I agree.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it was good.
Well, his advice should be to make money to get girls.
If you want, you can learn about you can learn about charisma from him.
He makes a lot of fucking money. That's well, he's really good at getting sales.
Yes.
So what he should do is be like, this is how he should get girls by making a lot of money.
That would reveal the grift, though. I think that's.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, that's a fair point.
Right. But look, he is a genius marketer. He's very charismatic. Does he have any game in terms of cold approach? No, his advice is fucking terrible. A lot of people like that.
Well, it's just very two-dimensional.
But it's also wrong. So his video where he's like, I might do an infield using his method because what he says, wait for a girl, like look at a girl, and then if she looks back for 3 seconds, go back to talking to your friends. Because that's a good sign. All right, now go back to talking to your friends. Yes, I swear to fucking God.
It's gonna be an infield of us not even approaching.
Yes,
it's gonna be an infield
of us. And then
what
he says though is wait about a minute, and then try to make eye contact. And she's looking back the second time, and she holds eye contact for X amount of time. Now you have permission to approach. When is society going to
allow men to actually have real advice?
And then if you're wearing his watch, his movement watch.
Oh, his watch.
Then
that's how you're going to actually.
You're definitely going to pull.
Oh my God, the watch is how you're going to get girls.
So if you want something different from that, I know it feels good. Oh, I can buy the watch. If you want some actual advice, make sure to subscribe to our channels. This is part 1. Gonna have part 2 soon. It's good talking to you guys, and hopefully you're going out and not being fucking bitches
on a Wednesday.
If you're not, yeah,
we just go out Wednesdays.
Of course. All right, cool.